Heathens and Heretics, and welcome to a bonus episode of In the Abyss. Fresh for I say fresh-ish.
There's nothing fresh about the way I feel right now.
Yeah, fresh-ish, let's say then, from Desertfest 2024, which was a fucking cracking weekend, all in all. But Bean's with me, by the way.
It's only just. I've got like the post Desertfest lurgy kicking around, so
desert flu.
Yeah, desert.
yeah. But you know, it was worth it. And one of the things that we got to do, we managed to catch up with Horndal, who are over here playing their first UK show, which was very cool. We had about sort of 20-25 minutes of them. They're really nice guys, weren't they? And they were, you know, quite enthusiastic about the whole thing, really.
I think it's great, like considering you know, all of us, Horndal's Head Hammerman album was, you know, we all picked it out as a highlight, you know, a few weeks ago, months ago now. When was it? I don't know, I can't remember.
A couple of months ago now, yeah, I think, yeah.
A real highlight of that bunch of releases, you know, we was all really excited about it. So for them to be one of the bands that sort of reached out and gave us the opportunity to have a chat, I think was, you know, was a real treat, to be honest.
Yeah, it was more of a treat than the Desertfest press area, perhaps, but but I mean, you know,
the phrase "no expense spent" comes to mind.
yeah. But I mean, look, it's in an alleyway in Camden, isn't it? What more can you do? It's, you know, and you'll find listening to the chat we had with them that there is a fair bit of background noise and the odd noisy bike and car, and I think there was a Ferrari went past at one point, so. There is a bit of that, but it's a good chat nonetheless, isn't it? We really enjoyed talking to them. They were also great in the dev, which we'll talk about another time. So yeah, we'll roll the tape and enjoy. Greetings, heathens and heretics, and fucking whatever else. We're at Desertfest 2024.
Listen, we're in Camden, so anything goes.
And we're in a grubby fucking alleyway. Sitting on beer barrels and yeah, it's not great.
What you mean is we're in the posh end.
Yeah, it probably is, to be fair. But what is cool though, we are joined by 3/4 of Horndal in the UK for the first time. Say hello, guys.
Hi. We're Horndal.
Yes,
nice
they are. Yes, they are. And yeah, like I said, first time in the UK, so it's yeah, this is not the best welcoming experience, is it?
No. You know, the weather is fine.
You know what? That's a bonus, because usually this time of year the weather's shit. It was glorious yesterday as well, wasn't it?
It's been beautiful, you know.
And we're past the hangover now, so we're all right, aren't we?
But it's catching up with us.
It's
like you know that film It Follows, where you're trying to stay ahead, but it's always kind of looming at the back.
The hangover's coming with you, isn't it?
Chased by the hangover,
But look, you know, it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
So like I said, first time in the UK. It's Desertfest. Why Desertfest then? What has drawn you to this? Did they approach you? Is this something you wanted to play before?
I think it was actually something that the festival and our label, Prosthetic Records, was talking about, bringing us over here. So that was great. I mean, yeah, as I said, it's the first time here, and I think it was a great opportunity for us to come and play to some of the people that know us and likes us, and most importantly, find some new fans, hopefully. Yeah. Well,
that's what it's all about, and we're kind of in that boat. I mean, we're familiar with you guys before, but Head Hammer Man really clicked with us this year, didn't it?
We talked about that album a lot. You know, when that came out, it was a highlight for all of us. I think it's one of those ones we all kind of unanimously agreed on and jumped on and just wanted to talk about.
Wow.
Unanimous, kind of like, yeah, we like that.
That's amazing.
Thank you. It's fucking good. Which, you know, weekends like this is, you know, like you say, hopefully you'll pick up new fans and whatnot. The Dev is a great little place. It's kind of like the centre of heavy metal in Camden, I suppose, isn't it? The Dev. You know, so you will always get that kind of loyal. His band are playing in there as well.
Oh, sweet. Today?
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, tomorrow. So,
quick shout out. Grudge.
Fuck off.
Grudge.
Let's quickly talk about Head Hammer Man, because the one thing that got me was when I read the story, the concept behind the album. Is it a concept album?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
It's 100%.
It's beyond story.
Tell us about that story, because when I've read it, and it's just a fucking wonderful story.
Yeah.
But you know, you talk about it.
You know, we're Horndal playing songs about Horndal, and this was our third record. And you know, this is a very small town. You know, it's kind of hard. We built a very small box for ourselves.
Yeah,
right. And all of a sudden we found this story by an old man from Horndal telling us about this union man that got blacklisted and was forced to exile to America. And then I was digging in the archives for like 2 years. And Pontius is a songwriter. So he wrote all the songs. And I said, you can do whatever you want because I'm here in the archives. You know, the story kind of expanded, and I needed more space than just a record. So then I wrote a book of them as well.
Fucking hell.
So it's a historic novel about this man, Henrik Andersson.
Wow.
Yeah. So the unsung hero of Horndal. Nobody in Horndal knows about him until now.
Yeah.
Because he went to America in 1910.
So this is like an untold story.
Yeah,
this
it is.
Something new.
Yeah, it is.
You're putting the spotlight on.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And
Yeah.
the book is available worldwide.
know there was a book,
on
right?
Amazon.
Right?
Yeah, in English. If you don't want the Swedish version.
Yeah, I can't read Swedish.
Yeah, no, you can't. You have to learn that. It's a really
try.
nice
There's
language.
no better time than
Yeah.
now.
So so that is kind of the story. He was 27 years old when he kind of forced to be the boss of the local union.
Yeah.
And then we had a general strike in Sweden in 1909, and you know, this steel mill, the bosses evicted all the unionized workers, and we got famine, you know, and the military came and workers to protest, and we were on the verge of a civil war in Sweden.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's not a story that we would ever have heard outside of Sweden, is it?
No. But I guess you got the similar stories here, you know, in the Black
Yeah,
Country.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So you know, we got mail from like the Rust Belts in America. You know, these are stories that are told all over the world, I guess. With blacklisted workers that have to leave the country.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
So,
a crazy story.
Yeah.
And in the research work with this, I found his granddaughter, Holly from Los Angeles,
Fucking
76 years old.
Wow.
She went my best friend, and when we had the book release and the album release, she came to Sweden with his husband.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I got to show her all the places in Horndal. Here's where the workers got evicted, and here was the place he worked. You know, we were standing there like crying together. You know, it's really emotional.
That's
Unbelievable.
incredible.
Yeah.
To have that kind of history behind your music, that's something that a lot of bands would kill for.
Yeah, you know, we don't need to sing about swords and dragons.
Hey, listen, it has its place, but there's room for so much more.
Yeah, but there's a lot of bands singing about swords and dragons, so they can do that.
Yeah.
And
I think there's many
about,
bands singing about the weed today.
Yeah, there's a lot about
This weekend, there's a lot. Yeah, there is.
Yeah,
There's
can
a
you
lot
smell
of
that?
It's not BO. It's weed.
There's people singing about weed that I can smell.
Yeah, exactly. You can smell the lyrics.
It's,
But what the story you've just told there, how did that influence the music, the sound of the record? Were they connected, or was it?
You have to answer that, I guess, because I was telling you all the things I found during this research.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it sort of came natural. I think after the previous record, I think we wanted to expand sort of our genre a bit and take inspiration from the whole record collection, not just the metal part, because metal is not the only kind of music that we listen to, and I think then we have influenced by a lot of older music and like 60s and 70s music, and so I think that's sort of, I wouldn't say that there's a historical touch to the music, but it fit the story. It's not that you've written a sci-fi novel, because that wouldn't really that wouldn't fit the you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think but then I write the music, and then I don't know what the word's going to be, really. So I just send them to the rest of the band, and Henrik started figuring out the lyrics, and it was really like that. We had the theme, we knew that it was going to be about Ulrich and this story. Yeah. But the first idea was that it's going to fit in 10 songs, basically. And then we started discussing, would be cool, okay, and I don't want too much lyrics in the songs. we don't want to end up with rap metal here. You know? So I'm a more fan of like not too much lyrics.
Less words.
So then like, oh well, let's expand the lyrics in the lyric sheet. So I mean, when you open and you read them, you just notice that there's a lot of more words, more story here than you can hear.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
so then that's cool. And then you just said, it's still too much story. Write a fucking book. And then it did.
And this is where the book came into
Yeah. That's the truth.
But
actually.
what a fantastic companion to the music. And just to go back to that point about, the different set of influences that came into the music, every time I've listened to the album, I'm hearing new things.
Oh, that's
I'm
amazing.
hearing different influences.
Yeah.
So for anyone out there that hasn't heard it, that's one of the great things about your record is it takes you on a different journey every time.
Oh, yeah. That's amazing.
So kudos to you guys for bringing all of that into it.
Thank you. But I mean, I think for all of us in the band, we do like really heavy riffs and stuff like that, but we also like 70s like cosmic rock, and we also like old Swedish hippie records, and we also like jazz records, and I think you can find inspiration.
Or Journey, or
and then also like 80s heavy metal. I mean, who doesn't like harmony guitars?
Fucking right.
Yeah. I mean, anyone who says they don't like that is a big liar, basically. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that was like, we're gonna do one song that's gonna be a total Judas Priest intro, like the Hellion style,
Of course.
Yeah, because I mean we all love that, and but I mean in the beginning you're always kind of nervous. Is this gonna fit? Is this really us? Is this gonna fit the record? Is this song gonna go with this song? But I think at the end of the day, when it's us playing and writing the music, it's gonna fit. And I think a lot of bands they get a bit nervous and they discard songs that they think doesn't fit the band. But I think fans, they could really, they could identify a band and your sound. And so I think, I think you could take it even further. And I think just the response to the reception of the album has been amazing. It's really flattering. And I think a lot of fans that we thought, they're not going to get it, they're going to hate it, they really like it.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
That was my next point. The way the album's been received, I think across other podcasts and social media and all this, it's popped up everywhere, and that's kind of why we listen to it. It's like, like I said earlier on, I heard you guys before, but hearing this album, it just like it really fucking clicked, and
that's amazing. Thank you guys.
Massively proud of it.
And have you found so taking that to the stage? I mean, have you performed much of this material live? Have you,
usually now we are on the 4-piece. When we played in Sweden, we have another guy that it starts to be kind of complicated to perform this music.
Right.
Yeah. So have a fifth guy that couldn't be with us here. So we have to make the best of it here in London. Yeah. But it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. I mean, actually last week was the first time we performed the record, the songs from the new album. So we played
really hard.
It was Oslo, and then Oslo, Norway, and then Gothenburg, Sweden, and then Stockholm, which was all amazing. The packed shows, and it was great. But it's more challenging now, and it's challenging.
Yeah,
I mean, for everyone to sort of, okay, what gear do we need now? I need a new guitar.
Yeah.
Fuck, I need to buy some new
pedal.
pedal.
No, I need a new guitar.
Fire
guitar.
But there's a real commitment to just bringing that sound to the live stage. You brought in an extra member to the band, so musically, it's sounding big.
Yes,
hopefully. At the little depth.
Today will be like the punk version.
I guess so.
I think that's good.
Yeah. That's good.
Actually, we talk about except for Suicidal Tendencies, I think we're going to be the fastest band on the festival.
Yeah. You probably will.
Yeah,
you probably will.
Again, to go back to the album, that's one of the things that comes across is the energy. There's a real thrust to the music. So if you can bring that to the stage, even if it is the little Dev stage, which is a great little venue, then
we will.
No problem.
Just turn it up to 11 and just go for it.
I think the problem usually is like the opposite, to sort of keep calm. Now we have like a slow song that's like
that's
in
the
3/4.
Yeah,
okay, try
like
to just go crazy. Keep the dynamic.
You'll get an energy in the dev because everyone's right in your face. They're right
I love
there.
that. That's the best. That's the best.
You can't beat that.
It's great.
So regarding all the bands that are playing Desertfest, is there anyone here that you know that you've seen before, or you're friends with, or is it a bit?
What do you say, Daniel? You're friends of most bands, more than I.
Well, Suicidal Tendencies, of course.
Of course.
Listen, I think we're all looking forward to that set.
What I played with before, Domkraft, played with them before.
Yeah.
Monolord maybe.
We're looking forward to Monolord tomorrow. Yeah.
Goldflesh.
All right, of course,
Yeah, you're on at the same time as Goldflesh, I think, aren't you?
Forget Godflesh.
Right, so there were some familiar faces.
Yeah, some, but there's a lot of new stuff as well. But I mean, I think we're like 3 or 4 Swedish bands.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
I think Cancer Bats played with it a couple of times.
Yeah, Cancer Bats are here. Yeah, we played with
Cancer Bats here. Yeah,
2 times.
We played with them twice.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Memorable gig.
Cancer Bats are great though. They're great fans.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
And they're doing Bat Sabbath tomorrow night as well, aren't they?
Yeah, so I think they're closing the whole festival with a Black Sabbath set. So their alter ego is
Tonight?
Tomorrow night. Yeah.
yeah.
It's gonna be all Tony Martin songs.
Listen,
He'll be all over that.
I paid good money for that.
Is he here?
Tony Martin was here
yesterday.
yeah.
So he did a Q. It was brilliant. He did a Q&A
wow.
in the Black Park.
Okay.
Just told some stories, shared some anecdotes.
Noisy bastard.
Yeah. Well, Tony Martin.
No, definitely not. It's surprising.
Shut up, Tony.
Yeah. There he goes on his Harley. Yeah. On his way to Tony Iommi's house.
In that jacket, I doubt it.
Yeah, pick up the check.
I'm before we go back on there, I'm just curious about Horndal, about the town, and about the metal scene, because you say it's a really small village, it's quiet.
Tiny.
How did you guys come about then, if there's sort of nothing much going on? Because you're not far from Stockholm, are you?
It's like 1.5 hours.
Far enough, fair enough.
Yeah. So, Horndal was in the 80s when we grew up called Heavy Horndal. Everybody listened to heavy metal.
Yeah, and for the record, we should say that Henrik and I were brothers and we were born there.
Yeah.
So,
Right, okay.
Yeah. And Daniel,
I moved there in '81.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
And
The good old days.
Yeah.
But I was already into heavy metal, so I kind of fit in right.
So there is a scene there then?
It's a lot of fans.
Okay,
okay. Not very much bands.
Mainly drunks sitting listening to Black Sabbath, drinking beer.
Perfect.
Welcome to Desertfest.
Yeah.
Speaking about Camden.
Yeah.
No, but it's it's not a scene, and of course it's really tough to find people, like-minded people to play with that like the same kind of music and
Can play
an instrument. Yeah. So we formed in Stockholm, but we're all just.
But back in the day, in the late 80s, early 90s, it became a huge death metal scene outside of Horndal, in the main city, Avesta.
Yeah.
And there was a very big death metal scene there.
And you wrote a book about that as well.
Yeah,
you have to buy this. Swedish death metal.
Are you all fucking authors then?
Yeah, he is.
This is incredible. So what's the name of your book?
Swedish death metal.
Yeah.
There you go.
What's that about?
It's about the krautrock scene in Germany. Well, that has been very successful. So.
Yeah. That's weird. I was on tour with my other band in Japan actually a couple of weeks ago. I went into a record store. Then that's Daniel's book.
Fucking
amazing.
Yeah. So it's it's been really, it's become like a really important piece of.
So this is the thing. You guys are just telling stories. You're putting it out there.
Yeah.
You know, there's a story of Swedish death metal. There's a story of kind of the workers, you know, in your hometown.
Yeah, I guess so.
So it just feels it feels like it's something that's very important to you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
To put a spotlight on your history, your heritage, your background. You know.
Yeah, we started off with the first record was about when the steel mill was shut down in the 70s, you know, and the second record when we find out that Google are going to build a server facility in our town, and use the lake for cooling all these servers, you know. And then they bought the land and deforested it, and that's why the second record is called Lake Drinker. So it's about Google.
Okay,
right.
Yeah. So there you go.
I mean, for us in the UK, obviously, everyone goes on about the UK, it's where heavy metal started, all that kind of thing. But for us, we look at Sweden in awe, don't we? With some of our favourite ever bands have come out of Sweden. You go back to Entombed and In Flames when they were still good, and every time another band comes out of Sweden, you just kind of we latch onto it, don't we? It's crazy. It just keeps on coming. What is it? Something in the water? What is it?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, but also it's been. I mean, since we were kids, it was so easy to start bands.
Yeah.
Because there were also funded rehearsal spaces everywhere.
Yeah, we talked to a couple of other bands about this. We talked to Lowest Creature, and they were saying the same thing, that it was all supported.
Yeah. And then, I mean, you start school and then you get asked, you want to play an instrument? Like, I want to play drums. Yeah, here's to get drum lessons and it doesn't cost anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it's been really, now it's way worse in Sweden.
Yeah.
Way worse. But when we grew up, it was. I mean, if you wanted to play an instrument, it was just, here's your instrument, you can borrow this, here's a rehearsal space, it's all equipped. It will cost you like £10 a year. Yeah. It was,
Fuck.
Yes.
When I grew up, it was also that there was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
You could pick up sports or play music.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't like sports, so.
So heavy metal it is then.
Yeah.
You made the right choice.
So I think like a combination of all that, and it's being really cold. You have to be inside. You know,
Boredom.
Yeah,
sufficient.
boredom completely. All right, so what's the plan now then? The album's out. You've been playing here. What's over the next sort of 12 months? What are you going to be doing?
Just tour as much as possible.
Yeah.
I think, obviously. So we're gonna after this, we're gonna go back, play a couple of festivals in Sweden, and then do a tour in the. In autumn, like in Sweden and Scandinavia, and some shows in Europe.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do that, and then I mean it's basically then sort
We're
of
speaking to some bigger bands to do open for them in the spring.
Yeah, like Tribulation,
See if that can happen.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. I mean, touring now is a challenge, isn't it? It's hard to get about. It's really difficult. A lot of bands we've spoken to have said the same thing, especially coming to the UK. You know, Brexit and everything like that. It's made everything a lot harder.
Very complicated to play here.
Yeah.
Complicated and expensive to go here.
Yeah.
So you lose money coming here.
Yeah.
Right.
I suppose you kind of, to a certain extent, have to almost write that off, don't you, and say, look, we've got to play the shows, you've got to do it. And so this is costing you money coming here then?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you coming, and because that's tough.
But I mean, for us, it's just, I mean, all the money, there's not a lot of money that comes into the band from merch, from shows in Sweden and stuff like that. We all put everything into the band again.
Yeah, we never take any paychecks.
No. So it's all, I mean, we try to, I mean, when we make albums, that's with this one, it was really expensive to record. Because we wanted to make it that way. So, I mean, for instance, with the drum sound, we booked the studio. It was actually a Swedish artist called Pugh Rogefeldt. No one knows him outside Sweden, but it's pretty popular old. It was sort of like psychedelic style in the beginning, late 60s, and he had the drum sound that was just totally amazing. So we just booked that exact studio.
Wow.
Yeah, to have those exact.
I mean, how did you come across that then? Was that because he'd recorded records that you enjoyed?
Yeah.
Or, you know, and that was your in? So you just approached him?
Yeah, and that's the ABBA studio actually.
Oh, nice.
It's the most expensive studio in Sweden.
So we booked it for one day. So I tried to jam in as many drum tracks as possible on that day. Yeah. So then we had to move out of there really quickly and get to a more affordable place. Yeah. But then, I mean, try to invite friends. So our friend Henrik Palm is a guitar player, excellent guitar player. He's made a couple of really great solo records. He also played in Ghost actually.
Okay.
Yeah, he was guitar playing Ghost, and he played a really great heavy metal band from Sweden called In Solitude. It was amazing.
Oh, I remember In Solitude. Yeah.
And then
first album was just fucking superb.
Yeah. So we invited him to play two guitar solos, and then our friend Martin Hederus, who plays in a band called The Soundtrack of Our Lives. It's like a rock and roll sort of 70s
psychedelic.
Yeah, they toured with Oasis. They were
nice.
They were huge.
Yeah, huge.
They performed on David Letterman show 3 times.
Yeah.
It doesn't get much bigger than that, does it? Really.
But he's amazing. Like, he plays the organ and piano. So he was so excited to play like heavy metal songs. He's like, yes, I played jazz for 5 years. This is amazing. So we tried to like make it to bring everything into the record. And I mean, obviously our friends doesn't cost money, but the time does, and so we try to all the money that comes into the band, we just spend it on recording and going to Desertfest.
Yeah, of course. And it sounds like you've achieved a lot of what you wanted. So you went into this process with a lot of intentions, and a lot of that came to fruition. Is there anything you would have done differently, or anything you wish you could have included that you couldn't this time around?
Maybe record the whole album in that super expensive studio.
That could have been something.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Or maybe the double album, because there's a couple of songs that couldn't fit into the album.
Well, who doesn't love a big gatefold?
Gatefold, yeah.
Fuck off. So there. Next time.
It is a gatefold, though.
It's a gatefold with just one record.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot. It's single record, gatefold. We were talking about this, weren't we? That sometimes double albums can be a bit of a headache. So two songs, change it over. It's just, get up, change it over. It's too much effort. So,
True.
Look, guys, thank you for your time. It's been amazing. We're really looking forward to your set tonight.
Love the setup here.
Oh, it's tremendous.
It's cozy.
Yeah, and it's going to be a good one tonight. We are very much looking forward to it. We'll be probably quite lubed by then, I'd imagine.
Yes,
and you'll see our ugly faces.
I played that venue. I played every other venue here on the Desertfest, but not this one we played.
Oh, so you get to complete your bingo card.
There you go. Camden bingo
bingo to this set. It's Daniel.
It's going to be good. It's great fun. I'm looking forward to it.
That's a win for me, getting the term bingo into a heavy metal conversation.
Well, there you go. That says it all, doesn't it? So, wicked guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Have a good one tonight, and hopefully we'll see you again in the future as well.
Absolutely.
Wicked. Thank you very much.
So there we have it then. That was great. It was really great to chat with them. And you'll notice they spoke about a couple of them have actually written books, which is mad. And you've got the details, Bean, haven't you? That if people want to check them out.
Exactly. So Daniel, I mean, he's actually written 3 books, but the one he mentions, the Swedish death metal book, I had a look around just to see if I could get a copy just for my own. It sounded great, but it is out there. It's published by Bazillion Points Books. Came out in 2008, but if you get on Amazon, it's pretty freely available. And there's a foreword in there by Chris Reifert. From Death and all. So it's there's some big names attached to it, which is a good endorsement, I think, for that. And then of course there's Head Hammerman. So you heard him talk about in the interview that there was just too much content to contain in the album. Henrik's written a book, so the entire story of Elric Andersson can be read about in the book, The Unsung Hero of Horndal. So it's a new release, came out this year in April, and again, if you go online, it's freely available. I found it on Amazon. It looks like it's self-published, but on the back, it is emblazoned with the logo of one of the Swedish trade unions, which tickled me slightly because this particular trade union is called IF Metal, which is they're one of the metal worker trade unions out in Sweden, which I think is just a nice little touch. There's so much metal attached to this band.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Even from such a tiny Swedish town, there's so much attached to it. It's crazy.
Look, Horndal literally translates as Horn Valley. So if you think about throwing up the horns and giving it some metal, then what better place to live?
I'm going there on holiday, without a shadow of a doubt. But it was really cool to talk to them, and hopefully we'll. I like to talk to them again, really, over a bit of a longer period, and and really get into the sort of history of the band and all that. But until then, we'll be back in a week or so with a full belt and braces Desertfest review, with a very, very special guest in the shape of Uncle Mike. You'll get to know him next week. But yeah, we'll go back over all the bands, the good things, the bad things, the venues, everything really, which is only going to be positive. It was a great weekend, but it'd be good to look back on it over in a bit more detail.
Can't wait.
My first and definitely won't be my last. Wicked weekend. So until then, thanks for listening, and as usual, stay metal. We'll see you next week.